This is the morning after with Chris. I'm Krystal, and today I'm with Jason from the Realm, and we're going to talk about all things fitness and, fitness, relationships, and dating.
My name is Jason Scott. I am a manager for the Realm in Calgary, one of Calgary's newest gyms, and I'm also an international fat loss specialist specializing in women specifically.
People underestimate their physical appearance when they show up on a date?
Do they underestimate their physical appearance?
Or do they think about it?
I don't think as many people think about it as you would think. I think it crosses your mind maybe when you're putting that outfit on before you go out.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of justification that happens. So I don't think it's on people's minds as much as you might think it would be.
From your perspective, which I think is interesting, because from mine, being the matchmaker, when we send a profile, I think that's the first thing people judge.
Their own body or the body of the person that they're about to.
The body of the person that they're about to meet, or also their own body in their photos that we use. And
True. Yeah. I think I probably mistook it a little bit of, immediately
Once you
assessing the
get to the
physique
date.
of the person
yeah,
that they're meeting with. Yeah, I could see that being more prevalent. Yeah, for sure.
what do you think the difference is between looking good for a date or actually being healthy for a relationship?
I mean, that's big. I think they're two totally different worlds. I think the actual physique aspect, anyone can obtain like a body and like look good. A guy can get abs. A girl can, have a nice butt and be toned up, for lack of better words. But
After
I think
a lot
actually
of hard work. That's hard, I think.
and it can be. But I think that the real hard work is actually the mental aspect of things, of actually not falling into a realm of like codependency, like you're just going date after date looking for someone because you need somebody.
Yeah.
I think the mental aspect of things is huge, and I see people day in, day out. I've been the individual when I was younger of like that minor codependency issue of like, yeah, my body was always kind of in mind, but I was not remotely set in my own ways in my own life, and I was in no space to be even actively pursuing trying to find a partner. And so I think they fall under two totally separate worlds. But yeah, I think if people put remotely as much effort into their mental health and the actual loving themselves, not just loving the body, but like loving everything about themselves, inside and out, and then apply yourself to a person, and then I truly believe that's how you grow a healthy relationship versus just trying to find two people that think one another is hot and you go from there. But
Well, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally agree with that, because I know there's people that I've matched. Some of them are just so shallow, like right from the get-go. It's looks, it's body, everything down to like cup size.
Yeah.
Like so specific. But like emotionally, mentally, they're not in a good place.
Yeah, of
They're
course.
never going to meet somebody. It's never going to work out. People don't think about that. But when you are dating and you are in your body, even if you are working on yourself and trying to be like healthy, like if you don't feel good about your body, it's hard to show up.
Oh, for sure.
But some people have to just try anyway
Because that'll just
before
boil
they
down
get
to
the body.
confidence as well, right? Like if you
Yeah.
just genuinely don't feel physically good every single day, or look in the mirror and think you look physically appealing, for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
then no, you're not going to show up with confidence. You're always going to be. And I've been in situations personally myself with individuals that insecurities ran so rampant that it was just that you couldn't even navigate your day to day because it was always just handling one person's insecurity, and it gets exhausting.
Yeah.
As shallow as that might sound, but like, yeah.
I don't know if you noticed this at your work, but I imagine you must, like with
Mm-hmm.
Ozempic right now. Obviously, people are taking it, not just for like, some people don't need to take it, but people are taking it. It does make them a little more confident because they do lose weight faster.
Yeah.
Like, do you think people should be doing that? Or do you notice a difference in it? Like,
Ozempic's kind of trending down now. It was massive. There's some other it's a GLP-1, so there's some other
Yeah, well,
GLP-1s
whatever
that are
the
prevalent now,
name-
like
yeah.
retatrutide is a really popular one now. I think Ozempic has a place in many different aspects. It's big in bodybuilding, like in actual contest prep and stepping on a stage. People use Ozempic for that because it works great for weight loss. It's that people that aren't in the realm of what I do of like competing in bodybuilding, they want to take it because they think it's like a fat burner and they're just going to lose weight, and that's not how it works. It just stops you from eating.
yeah.
Ozempic can be very good for you if you take it, you also keep up your diet kind of spot on, and then you strength train, you do all this kind of stuff, then it has a place. But women, men, young, old, everyone's diving into it because doctors love it.
Yeah.
And it does create a really toxic thing because it stops you from eating. You become even more unhealthy than you were before, and your body just removes all muscle you might have had. And you're going to lose the weight, but as I'm sure you would already know, the second you come off of it, your body's doing a 180 like you've never seen before.
Yeah.
And it'll all come back tenfold. It's horrible.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I went on Ozempic. I am on Ozempic. And I did quit taking it last summer for Stampede because I was like, I'm not going to take it while I'm drinking for 10 days straight. And I gained like 20 pounds almost. Not really. It was like, it felt like.
It's a plethora of water weight immediately off the bat.
Yeah. But you just think like, oh my God. And it took me 6 months to lose that, like.
To get it back off.
2 weeks of.
Yeah.
It was wild. And now I'm like on this, like, obviously I have to maintain myself to go off of it. Like, I have to go to the gym twice a week. I have to go to Pilates 3 times a week. And if I don't do those things, then like my whole life is thrown off. So I'm like,
the actual exercise aspect is really important, but it's the diet. The diet takes care of 90%.
Well, my diet, I have that like as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah.
I have somebody working on me with that. It's like it is what it is. Yeah.
It's the littlest implementations though with the diet. It's not like you need to be this structured robot in order to utilize Ozempic or come off of it. It's just have the basics, the most standard habits on a day-to-day basis, and you'll be completely fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a cycle. It's a vicious cycle.
Totally.
Anyway, but I still believe in it. I think it's like.
No, it has a place.
It changed my life.
Yeah, it changed a lot of people's lives. That's why it's so popular, because it's very effective. But it's very dangerous if you just, well, not necessarily, I don't even want to use the word dangerous. Like, it's not killing anybody. You'd have to drastically
Well, they do
abuse
say,
it.
I think that I heard somewhere that it is killing people. There's a lawsuit or something.
I mean, I'm sure someone has died off the top of my head. I don't know that's that. Like, everything's killed someone at some point in time. But yeah, it has its place.
Do you feel that people are sabotaging themselves by not taking care of their bodies?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us an example. Like that.
For a multitude of reasons.
It seems common, like that you might not think of though.
In ways that they're sabotaging their bodies, I would say, again, I always boil back because like mental health is like, I preach it with like all of my clients and kind of everyone on social media. Mental health is so big. So even when you're talking about sabotaging, when we're talking about the physique aspect, by not training, dieting, or taking care of yourself, yeah, the body's obviously going to represent that as well. But like the mind and the mental was really what takes the biggest beating. If we're not being active, if we're not eating properly, like your mental health deteriorates on like a weekly basis.
Yeah.
And then people immediately kind of want to jump on some kind of medication, maybe like, oh, I'm depressed or I have anxiety. You're probably just not doing the basics of fitness, of just getting your body moving, trying to eat a little bit better. So the main sabotage it's kind of like this big circle. Starts with your brain, and then as soon as your mental's not there, I mean, your body's going to follow suit. And so your whole being kind of dissipates if you don't really just knock out the basics of physical activity, really.
And when you see that, if you notice it, do you tell them? Do you make suggestions or refer them? Or
yeah, I've had people in my personal life go down that path, like women especially. So women, they love to use the whole, oh, my metabolism slowed down line, and like that's not a thing until you're like 65 years old. But someone very close to me, same kind of thing, and she was just slowly getting older, and so women think, oh, as I'm getting older, oh, my metabolism slows down. Your hormones change, and that plays a role in it. But you honestly, as you get older, life just gets busier. You start doing less, and your body just follows suit. So you get a job, you're at a desk, you're not eating as well, you're doing takeout because you didn't feel like prepping and this and that, and your body just responds to that. And so women are like, oh, I put on a bunch of weight in my mid-20s. Well, it's like, it has nothing to do with your metabolism. Your life just got busy. Life got real because you're an adult now, and your whole body slowed down. And so I've had someone close to me do that. And so then it usually ends up happening where I hop in and then I kind of offer my service of coaching and trying to dial it in and do what I can. But at the end of the day, I can only provide the blueprint. It's kind of on them to put their foot down. But
do you think men and women go about it differently?
Yeah, yes and no. I think men can adhere quicker because men are going to see results quicker in a different way. Like, for lack of better words, when you go into the gym and like you get a pump in the gym, a guy feels that and sees that differently than a woman does. Yeah. And so you're like, oh, I have a vein here today. Now that guy's driven. He's going to keep going. Women, it's a little bit different. For like a plethora of reasons. Like social lives are different. Like women have just more of a social life. They do typically. So going out for dinner with the girls, going out for drinks, all this kind of stuff. I think they think as soon as they get into this lifestyle, that all has to be abolished. Like it's all gone. And so they kind of get that wired into their head before we even go. And so we start, and then that one first night comes out, and they go for drinks, and then they wake up the next morning. There's like maybe a pound or two, and they're like, "Oh, I sabotaged it. This isn't gonna work for me. I'm out of here." Versus men, they'll go out and they'll drink and they'll get sloshed, and they're right back on it the next day, and then they're feeling totally fine. So it's kind of a different. There's two different paths, but yeah.
Do you ever notice anything when there's like a couple or partners that one is super focused on fitness and the other isn't?
Yeah, I've seen it a lot, and I never fully understand kind of like why and how, because it's having both partners invested in this kind of lifestyle is super important just for driving one another. Mm-hmm. With what I just said before about how women and men kind of navigate differently, that's where men specifically navigate differently. I've seen it much more apparent where a guy is very invested into bodybuilding, competing, or just a gym addict and health and his diet and everything's on point. And the female partner has nothing to do with any of it. That's a pretty normal thing I see quite often. It doesn't usually go the opposite way, though, to where I see a really dedicated female gym goer or competitor or someone that's heavy in the diet, and their male partner is like straight left field, like completely out of it, doesn't touch a gym, super unhealthy. I don't see that often, but I've seen the unbalanced partnerships, and I'm always curious how it works, because for me personally, I never need my partner to be as kind of like, locked in and kind of doing what I do. If you're just doing the basic fundamentals of being healthy, then that's all I care about. You go to the gym 1 to 3 times a week, that's cool. But I couldn't do the opposite, where my partner is just, it's binge drinking, it's like a really unhealthy lifestyle. We would butt heads continuously, I think, of just two lifestyles that just would not match up.
So you being personally like in a relationship doesn't get you into a slump getting comfortable or...
Me personally, no.
Yeah.
But like that's a very normal thing that I see all the time.
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
Complacency is massive, yeah.
What role do confidence and posture play compared to muscle and abs?
Confidence and posture is going to get you further than muscle and abs is going to get you, especially in 2025, from what I've noticed.
Yeah.
The dad bod craze and all of that is like still very live. Like that's a very real thing. Unless you're into the niche world of competitors in bodybuilding, that's totally different. If we're just talking about lifestyle and dating and normal day-to-day people, you're going to get a lot further with confidence, posture. I never really think about that aspect, but yeah, the posture's massive as well. But yeah, you're the guy that's confident with good posture, just displaying himself on a daily basis, versus the guy that's trying to show you that he lifts and trying to show his muscles all day, is going to get much further.
How do you approach a conversation with somebody who thinks they're just too busy to stick to a plan?
That's like 90% of people that come my way, because like everybody's busy. Their definition of busy might be different than the next person, but how I approach someone saying like they're saying they're too busy for a program from me.
Yeah.
That's kind of where my bluntness comes out, because I don't believe anybody's too busy. Mm-hmm. I believe it's your priorities aren't necessarily in line. It's you came to me for a reason, so why did you come to me? Like what made you want to take time out of your day in order to reach out? Because you obviously looked in the mirror at some point or you realized something wasn't good. And so it's keeping your priorities in check. Everyone can make time to do the most minimal stuff, and then it's on me, and I can program anything for anybody. But if I have, that criminal defense lawyer able to hit his goals, but this stay-at-home mom's not able to do hers, well, something's not adding up there. Like everybody has time. It's just a matter of actually making it a priority is really what it comes down to.
That's true. Like in dating.
Yeah.
That's what I do with people.
Yeah, it's kind of, and I use this when I'm talking to kind of anybody, especially about dating and stuff. And it applies to fitness too. It's if he wanted to, he would. If she wanted to, she would. And obviously, I that's something I live by, like in dating. When guys are like, oh, like she's not texting me back. Well, that she doesn't want to. If he wanted to, he would. If she wanted to, she would. And the same thing can apply to health and fitness, I believe, 100%.
I agree. If you had to design the ultimate training program for setting yourself up for love, what would it look like?
Setting yourself up for love. Mm-hmm. The mental, like we talked about, getting your mental health as calm as it needs to be. I believe the body needs to follow that as well. Like if your mental state is great, but then you look in the mirror and you just hate what you see, that obviously isn't gonna be great either. But the best blueprint for getting someone in the best, was it the best shape for love? Movement. Movement is so important. People just, and we were talking earlier, people just walking, like people just ignore how important walking can be.
Yes.
Getting daily steps in can like do so much for the body. You're gonna burn calories and whatnot, but like just the mental health, like releasing those endorphins is so important. And then just cutting out like toxic habits from your day-to-day life. It's not even really me implementing like this structured 5 meals a day and lift this and do this every single day. It's eliminating the bad stuff first. So it's
Like
just
what?
creating some habits. So getting up and moving, like whether you're petite or whether you're a really large individual, just moving your body is now going to trigger appetite. Now you're going to want to actually eat food because most people eat like a meal a day. Women, again, because I work with, I'm not singling out women, but that's who I work with specifically. They'll eat like maybe 2 meals a day. They come to me. They're like, oh, they don't get hungry when they wake up. That's like everybody. And then their day gets quote unquote busy, and then they go and they have that one meal. So getting up and moving, actually increasing the appetite, actually making you want to eat more food. That's step one. Just get moving. Strength training comes down the line. I think people think that I just need to become a bodybuilder right away, and that's really not the case. Doing something like a Pilates class, doing something you just genuinely enjoy doing every single day. Pilates is like the new CrossFit now. Everyone loves Pilates. So if you can just do something that you like to do, that's going to keep your mental happy. Now you're burning calories, and then we start working in the food. Like there's just little implementations that I make kind of slowly. I tell every client, baby steps. Like if I just throw a whole program at you, that's how you get flustered, and that's how you're like, oh, I quit. This is way too much. So we work at baby steps, and that's probably my blueprint. It's just eliminating the toxic behaviors, implementing some new realistic habits, and then everything kind of falls into place from there.
A lot of our clients that come to us, they're in their 60s, maybe they're widowed, divorced, haven't really been working out, haven't kept up. They're just getting back out there and dating, like confidence is low. Where would you start with them from the beginning?
Creating the basic habits right off the bat, kind of like I said, just getting the most basic day-to-day fundamentals down of like just moving your body and being kind of healthy that way, but making them do things that also is just going to make them happy. So kind of like we touched on, like with Pilates classes and stuff, like getting out and doing that. You're typically not going alone. You're probably going to go with a friend of yours. You're going to go with a group or do something. I would have them doing that. You're getting the exercise in. You're getting some social hour in. You're happy. That's going to keep the mental kind of more stable and more locked in. The physical changes are going to kind of naturally come with that. There's so much that kind of comes into play in order to make the body change, but to apply more confidence, I would just applying the daily basic habits, making sure they're happy on a day-to-day basis, making sure they're still socializing, making sure they're getting physical activity in through a way that's fun, like the Pilates classes, like yoga, like I think what else is kind of really viral right now. Pilates is kind of like king at the moment, but that would probably be my first go with them. But it's especially with the older crowd, and I do have clients that are 60 and above. It's a slower process. And there's a lot more that we kind of have to dive into before just like applying a program, like from a hormonal standpoint and stuff. We're dealing with a different body at that point. But yeah, just basic physical activity, and that's walking, Pilates, yoga, all this kind of stuff. And a dog.
Yeah. Walk the dog, get a dog.
But actually walk a dog, you're getting your daily steps in. It's the littlest things like that that can make a difference, yeah. For sure.
Do you find that most people that come to you, they're in a relationship and they hit a slump? Maybe their partner said something about their fitness, or are they coming before they start dating?
Many are already in a relationship. And it's not necessarily, I don't know off the top of my head if I've ever had someone come to me because their partner ever said something. It's usually their own self-awareness that they're realizing they're not in a very healthy spot and they need to make a difference. But kind of flipping back and touching on that though, I also think if you're in a relationship that the partner can tell you something like that and you're able to take that information, kind of then say head my way with it, I think that's a really healthy thing as well.
Yeah. Versus
it's not just your partner, smack talking you and trying to make you feel down about yourself. But and now that we're talking about it more, there has been a point. I guarantee there's been someone that's come to me because the partner maybe did acknowledge. I just can't remember the exact moment. But it's usually people, primarily women, that come to me because they've looked in the mirror, they realize that something needs to change, or they were fit at one point. That's a really big one. They're in a relationship, they're very comfortable, and that's solidified. But they look at their old self and they realize, oh, I used to look like this, or oh, I used to do this, I used to do that, and they want to get that back. But I don't think it was because the partner ever necessarily brought it up. Definitely not because the partner shamed them into it. Because if that was the case, that's like a whole different conversation I have with that person. Because like we need to handle that problem before we go into fitness. Because if the relationship's as toxic as that might be, this fitness program is never going to work. They need to kind of run synergistically. But
I feel like there's lots of women, I don't know, a lot of them are still married, but I don't know if it's this phase that women go through when they're married and then their kids maybe get to a certain point in school. And I feel like there's so many women that are like 45-year-old, 50 fitness models. Like, what
yeah,
phase is that?
I don't know, but there are a lot of
Because I noticed
older.
that.
Yeah, there's a lot, especially at the realm where we are now. Like we have a very large competitor community, but we're also like the best beginner gym ever. Like a very large part of our members are beginners that have never remotely touched a stage or anything. They're here literally because it's a gym, just like kind of any other gym. They just love our gym. But older female competitors, yeah, I don't know what it is. They get. I think everyone has a little bit of like look at me energy, like, and I think that runs a little bit more rampant sometimes in the older female community, especially in the gym community. I mean, there's a lot of, I don't want to say pick me energy because that's just not what it is, but it kind of is a little
They're
bit.
on the verge of divorce.
Could be, yeah, for whatever reason it is, and they want to take a new path now, and so fitness and getting your body a certain way and just having this new routine might be the way they want to go. But yeah, I see it a lot every single day for sure.
Do you ever find that there's women coming to you to get in shape to have a baby or to get in shape after a baby?
It's always after. I've dealt, and I have a handful of clients right now that are postpartum. I deal with a lot of postpartum women. Never do they come to me pre-baby. That's not usually a thing. It's they get pregnant, and I actively pregnant women on my roster right now because that is also something women don't talk about enough. Is like the benefits of doing all this while you're actually pregnant. I think ladies think they get pregnant and all this has to stop. It's going to be like damaging for the baby when it is so polar opposite. It's sticking to this routine and keeping on your diet the best that you can is going to make the pregnancy so much more smooth. But it's also going to obviously reduce the amount of weight you're going to put on during that pregnancy to where when you want to work with me after and the baby's gone, we didn't put on 50 to 60 pounds during that pregnancy. So I deal with lots of postpartum because it's also a cool spot for women because when they come to me right after having a baby, the body also wants to respond really quick. It wants to go back to how it was when you were pre pregnancy, but that usually is kind of like a kick in the ass for like some women. So they'll use that. Your body's going to get a lot of results really quick postpartum because you're naturally going to shrink down to about what you were before. We've created that kind of like motivation and discipline for yourself, and then they can carry on. Versus the women that come to me because they got pregnant, or they're actually already with me and then they get pregnant. That's what I get a lot. We've been on a plan for X amount of time. They get pregnant. They're like, oh, I need to cancel or I need to pause for now because I got pregnant. And no matter how I try and spin it, some women are very set in their ways of like me telling them it's really in your benefit and it's really in your favor. Just stick with this. We'll make some adjustments, obviously, because now you're pregnant. There's things you're not going to be able to do in 6 months' time. But some are just very kind of stubborn and say, no, well, I'll reach back out like when I have the baby or whatever. And then they reach back out 70 pounds later and then we have this discussion.
way.
Yeah, that's quite often.
And what do you love about your job the most? Like, what makes you so passionate about it?
I think it all boils back down to like our main topics here, which is like the confidence thing. It's one thing to like just get someone really lean and then they love their body and all that. But actually implementing like long-term habits, like things that like genuinely make somebody more confident, to where they go to the gym and they're taking that Instagram story and they're tagging me in it and they're doing that because they just genuinely love what they're seeing every single day. So that you can't really replicate that through many other occupations per se. So like I genuinely get to, change bodies and make people more physically appealing to one another, but the actual confidence aspect of it is kind of a one-off. It's pretty important. So I think probably that, but I'd probably say that, the confidence, surely.
I totally agree. I mean, I love when we make a couple or people are just having confidence in dating and seeing that reaction. That's why I love doing what I do.
What's your best reaction you've ever had?
Well, obviously when someone gets married, right? Like
I guess that's pinnacle, isn't it?
Yeah. But there are people who just learn how to date too, which I think is really important because people been they were married for 25 years and dating was a different game back then, right? So
Yeah, of course.
even if someone doesn't get married, they're just happy dating and loving their life.
And then potentially finding their person again one day if
Yeah.
need be. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I love it.
Thanks for coming on, Jason, and talking about, health and fitness and getting people ready for dating. It's been amazing to learn all about your knowledge.
Thank you so much for having me. I loved it.